Hello, welcome to Pecan Corner. I'm Tina, and today I'm going to make tomatillo green sauce and can it. Well, I grew tomatillos this year, and they always do pretty good. And this is the bulk of my harvest, and they grow like ground cherries if you've ever seen ground cherries, but tomatillos are much larger, and they're encased in this papery hull that'll just stay on them until you peel it off. They feel sticky. They feel like they have glue or syrup on them, but that's just a natural effect on them. And have to so I'm going to wash that off by dropping them into water as I peel them. And I don't know an easy way of peeling them. If you know an easier way than to just do it all by hand, please feel free to let me know, because otherwise it's a little bit of a tedious chore. It's not hard, you know. They just come right off, and you don't need to use a knife. It's not actually part of the tomatillo. It's just that it won't remove until you remove it. So I'm going to get these all done, and then I will be back. Okay, I've cut these. I've washed these, and I put a little vinegar in my water to try to cut that waxy coat that they have on them. And now I'm just going to cut them into quarters so that I can cook them. By the way, if you can't get tomatillos where you live, you can use green tomatoes to make this with. Nobody will notice the difference. Carmen McBride is the one that made me aware of that. We can get tomatillos year-round, nearly, here where we are. And she one year made chow-chow, green tomato chow-chow, and she made it early in the spring. And I asked her about it, and I said, where did you get green tomatoes this early? And she said, oh, I didn't use green tomatoes. I bought tomatillos and used them instead. And so these are kind of interchangeable. They don't taste very different from each other. So feel free if you need to substitute the one for the other to go right ahead and do so. These pans that I'm using, these enamel pans, belonged to my great-grandmother. They belonged to big grandmother, my mother's mother. And I have several pieces of red and white ware that were hers, that she used for all kinds of different things. And I thought I better start using these. They've been sitting on the bottom shelf of the baker's rack here for a long time, and I remembered to start pulling them out and using them, so that when the grandchildren see these videos or come to visit, they'll see me using these heirloom things. I need to pull all my heirlooms out and start using them for that reason, because they love what they remember. And while I want to use great care with things that are fragile, at the same time I want them to experience having used these heirlooms so that it'll have some meaning for them as a part of their life, and not just a story that someone said, oh, this belonged to your great-great-great-grandmother. I'll be back when I get all these cut up. Okay, now then, I have here about 3 pounds of tomatillos. There we go. And I'm going to add about 1 large clove of garlic per pound, or 2 cloves of garlic. You can use more. My garlic this year didn't do well. I've got a video about it where I was asking for information about what it did, and it turned out it was, I guess, the heat. Last winter was too warm, and it was too hot and dry in the spring, and so it didn't make well. But I was able to save it. I found that even though the cloves are very, very small, I was able to cure it, and I have been able to use it. It wasn't sellable, of course, but and the cloves are so small, I don't want to save any of them for planting this year. But as long as I cut them in half, I can put them in the garlic press, and I can get most of the good stuff out of them and without having to try to peel these teensy things. They're just too small. So there we go. But I can't use the part that's inside the press. I just throw that out because that takes that's all of the got all of the papers still on it. There we go. So it takes a little bit longer, but it's working okay. At least it wasn't a total loss. You know, you hate to put a lot of work into something and have it just not produce at all. But that's part of growing our own. Those things are very humbling when that happens, because you realize if that was my sole source of that food for the entire year, or perhaps even worse, maybe that would be if that were my sole source ever of my food, of that food. It's very humbling to realize what our families had to do as recently as 100 years ago to try to provide for us, or what families are doing in many nations today. Growing your own food is not for the faint of heart, and there's a steep learning curve. And so I recommend that if you're interested in doing it, you do, and that you stick with it. Don't allow discouragement to keep you from it. I've had a miserable garden year after a big success last year, and so between the bugs and the drought and the heat, I don't have much produce this year, and so but it you know, hope springs eternal, and so we will continue to I will continue to garden, maybe in a different way. But it also makes us count our blessings that we do have other sources of food, so we don't have to do this. Let's see here. Alrighty. Now then, I'm going to add, if you have fresh jalapenos, I just don't happen to have them on hand. I don't want a whole lot because I can't handle the heat. So I'm just going to use these jarred ones, and I'm going to use about, now like I said, I can't handle the heat, but Paul likes it. I'm just going to put 4 of those in there. They don't have any seeds, you know, the seeds have all fallen to the bottom. But if you're going to use it according to your own judgment. You can take a jalapeno and take the seeds and the veins out of it. You can put a whole jalapeno in. You could even put a Fuji jalapeno that's not hot in it, and that would be ideal in my case. You just need something to give it a little pep. Now, the last thing, and this is the secret, we're not going to put in until after we cook it, and that's the chicken bouillon. And it makes all the difference. So I'm going to cover this with water, I'm going to bring it to a simmer, and I'm going to simmer it for 15 minutes, and then I'll be back. Okay, I have simmered this for 15 minutes, and then I've drained it. Now I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of chicken bouillon to it. Now, I didn't add any salt earlier because of this bouillon. So you can use about 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon per pound of the tomatillos. And now I'm going to run you can run it in your blender, or you can do with the immersible blender, which is what I'm going to use right now. The bouillon that I'm using is actually a tomato and chicken bouillon. I've got it's such a big jar. I hated to open another jar of just the chicken, so it's going to have a little dab of tomato coloring in it. But it's not going to affect the flavor at all because it's that tortilla. Let me get this done and then I'll be back. Okay, now then, I'm going to fill them up, fill my jars, and I'm going to process this in my pressure canner for 25 minutes, which is what you'd process tomatoes in the pressure canner at. There's a beautiful color to it. That little dab of tomato in the tomato bouillon really. It's actually a tomato and chicken bouillon by Knorr. A couple of months ago, I haven't looked lately, but a couple of months ago, Aldi had Knorr chicken bouillon, the big jars like that, for like less than $5 for the jar, which is a great price. And so you might check there. It's much better price than buying the small individual containers of it, if you use it a lot. You know, if you don't use it a lot, you won't use one up, but then it doesn't pay. But in most cases, eventually, if you start using it, you'll probably use it more often if you have it handy. We also like chicken base for a lot of things because there's not the extra salt in it. Okay, now then, I'm going to clean my lids off. Clean my jars off and put my lids on and put these in and process. I'm getting together some okra and tomatoes to process in the same container. So I'm gonna set these in the hot water, but I'm gonna hold off on putting my lids on until I'm ready to start processing, because I don't want them to seal accidentally, which I've had happen before. So I'll be back and show you all the final product. And there we are. You can see the little dab of tomato in that chicken tomato bouillon changed the color just slightly of the green sauce. But if you put it in a blue jar, it looks perfectly green. See that? I would not substitute beef bouillon. I think the chicken is important for the flavor of this particular green sauce. But flavor-wise, this substitution didn't make any difference. So working with 3 pounds of tomatillos, I got 3 jars. I'm just showing 2, but I did get 3 pints of my sauce. Turned out great and is very delicious. I ended up processing them for 40 minutes because I processed them with some quarts of okra and tomatoes that I had to go into the pressure canner. So they got a little extra processing, which is perfectly fine. And you know, to be on the safe side, it never hurts to add 5 or 10 minutes to your processing time just for safety in either the boiling water bath or the pressure canner. These were pressure canned. It's a little different with pickles, cucumber pickles especially, but otherwise for most things it's not going to make a difference, other than be just a little bit safer. All right, thank you much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again.